Do you remember what I told you earlier today? As we were leaving Glacier National Park?
As we were leaving Glacier National Park, that it was gorgeous, but we still like Grand Teton better?
Besides that?
That there was... No, I don't remember. I was trying, but I don't remember.
We discussed so much.
Yes.
But what I said was that people are still people
Yes.
inside the national park.
No, so not when we were leaving. Before we left and we were driving and you were trying to back out of a space.
Yeah, well,
this was when you were trying to back out of a space.
We decided we were leaving the park.
Yes, but you were backing out of space and you were backing out before any cars were coming, and then all of a sudden cars started coming, and instead of letting you back out, they decided to go into oncoming traffic lane to go around you to make it so you could not back out, and then wanted to honk at you.
It was just a reminder that although we are in this beautiful place, that people pay to enter and theoretically are there for leisure and for fun and enjoyment, people who suck, people who are idiots, people who are stupid, people are still the same people
inside a national park. Yeah, that's true. It does not make sense to me whatsoever. Like, I just don't understand people like that.
But again, we have to remember that, because you shared this article with me after we left.
Yeah.
And this video here, woman gored by bison at Yellowstone.
Well, I mean, look at her dumbass, and I say that nicely, but the common sense of people these days is just gone.
I don't know if it was ever there. I don't know if it was ever there.
I feel like at some point it was.
In some instances.
Well, maybe not for everybody, but I feel like there's a lot more common sense before social media and like TikTok and Instagram and stuff came by and said, hey, be as stupid as possible so we can make it go viral.
Common sense goes out the window when you're thinking about views and clicks and shares and hearts and likes and retweets and FYPs and all these other things, right? So it says a woman visiting Yellowstone National Park was hospitalized Monday after being gored by a bison, according to National Park Service officials. And the unidentified 47-year-old tourist from Phoenix was walking with another person near the Lake Lodge cabins on the north shore of Lake Yellowstone when they saw two bison. Yellowstone is still open, by the way. Now, it says that officials said the two visitors turned around and tried to walk away, but one bison charged at them and gored the woman. The woman sustained significant injuries to her chest and abdomen and was transported by helicopter to Eastern Idaho Regional Medical Center. Park officials did not provide an update on the wounded tourist's condition. It was unknown how close the visitors were to the bison when it charged. Odds are they were probably trying to take selfies. And the investigation is ongoing. This is the funniest part about it, really. This is the first reported bison attack against a park visitor since last year.
Meaning it happens often. So the video that was just playing, that's not that?
Oh, you know what? The video is playing is probably last year's.
Okay, because that's the one I saw where the lady was reaching over and trying to pet a bison. And it's like, they're not a household pet. Like, why would you do that?
Well, again, people are going to be people. People are going to be who they are. Yeah. Good, bad, indifferent. Yeah. No matter what, no matter where. Yeah. And oftentimes these instances get, the risk is amplified and multiplied because, like I said before in other videos, even in where we live in Florida, don't think that just because you're on vacation, you're invincible. Yeah.
Too many people.
And odds are there's no alcohol involved in this situation at Yellowstone with the bison.
Yeah, probably.
The bison probably wasn't drinking.
Neither of the sharks in the water in Destin.
But just because you're on vacation, don't think that you're invincible.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it says that she was transported by helicopter.
Which means they have service, cell phone service in there so they can reach out for help, as opposed to Glacier National
Transported
Park,
by helicopter to Eastern Idaho Regional Medical Center.
Idaho. But Yellowstone is in...
That's probably the closest.
Okay.
Depending on what part of Yellowstone they were in.
Oh, yeah, because it is big.
That might have been the closest.
That's true.
But if I know how much an ambulance ride costs, I don't want to know how much a helicopter ride costs.
Yeah.
To a EMS helicopter ride. But fortunately, it was Yellowstone, okay, and taken to Eastern Idaho Regional, because also today I asked you to look up and see what national parks are near us in Florida, and we want to check those out. Besides, outside of the one that we've already been to, which is pretty much just a beach.
Yeah.
But that's where we got our national park annual card, which today I noticed the card was $80 for the year.
Yeah.
But if you wanted I think it was $35 for the 7-day. And so.
And it's $70 for just the one park, by the way.
$70 for the one park.
For the year.
$80 for all parks, $35 for the 7-day. However, we are going to be hitting another national park in a few days, Grand Teton. Grand Teton? Grand Tito Inn.
There we go.
And it wouldn't work.
No.
So then we pay 35 here, pay 35. They were at 70.
Yeah.
So why not pay 80?
Yeah.
And get all national parks for 12 months?
Makes more sense.
That's what we did last year. But we want to find some parks in Florida, other parks too. However, if you find yourself in this situation, this could be really bad, because I was just informed today by a viewer. I think it was Rope. Let me pull this up so I can tell you exactly who shared this comment. And their name is Rope Lele. I'm not really sure. 4760. Appreciate it. They said in Tupelo, Mississippi, North Mississippi Medical Hospital is laying off RNs, nurses, staff, surgeons, anesthesiologists, doctors, janitors, everybody. They're laying people off.
Are they closing that hospital and building a new one?
And they're laying them off through an email.
Ew.
So, all jokes aside, if you see an email coming in from your employer and they don't normally email you, just don't open it. That way you don't lose your job.
Yeah.
That way you don't lose your job. But in all seriousness, North Mississippi Medical Hospital is one of many hospitals, as we've discussed this before. I remember talking about this last year. And although being a RN, being in the medical field and position is seemingly an endless supply of business for people just being stupid and being gored by bison. However, the hospitals are losing money. Yes?
For those who don't know, RN, registered nurse.
Oh, yes. RN. Not right now.
Yeah.
The hospitals are losing money. They're not making profit. The other thing is the insurance companies are not paying them as they are contractually obligated to pay them. So when your AR, your accounts receivable, goes past 30, past 60, past 90, past 120, past 180, possibly past who knows how long. Now, you're in an instance like what we just listened to and watched on Shark Tank. When you run out of cash, you're in trouble. You're dead in the water, okay? Yeah. So if you find yourself in a situation where you need to be airlifted to a hospital, and North Mississippi Medical was that hospital, well, guess what? Not anymore. Not anymore. So this problem is going to impact the workers, the employees, the staff, the patients, the emergencies, everyone in the area, and it's being compounded in this growing insurance problem and crisis, which will affect homeowners insurance. It's going to affect auto insurance. It's going to affect life insurance. It's going to affect health insurance. It's going to affect insurance across the board. Why? Because they're not making enough money. They're not turning a big enough profit. They want to collect in premium policy fees. They want to collect, and they don't want to pay out. And therefore, how do you try to keep as much money in-house? How do you try to prevent, as an insurance company, having to pay out more and more and more? Well, you remove yourself from the problem, basically, okay? You start initiating, trouble sequences that make it difficult for people to receive the payment, deny payments. If we even want to go down the road of the potential insolvency nightmare and liquidity crisis that the insurance companies may be experiencing, compounded by loss, compounded by a down stock market, compounded by a rough crypto market, compounded by every other factor, compounded by people being ill, getting sick more, being hurt more often, compounded by people living longer and living longer with ailments. We'll save that for another video.
I had a question.
What you got?
So here's my question. Let's say these insurance companies, these medical insurance or whoever decides that they want to go ahead and stop doing what they were doing, hold on to all the money they made and just call it, we're just going to cut the line here. For people who have paid in, do they get any of their money back?
That's a good question, because the way I looked at it all the time we have insurance, I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to go to the doctor. I don't want to go, but I'm paying. I feel like I should.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily.
That's different. It's like, I have car insurance. I feel like I should wreck this thing. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't work like that.
I'm one of their best customers because I continuously pay them and I never use the service.
Yeah.
And there's really no attrition there because I'm not leaving. I'm just a continuously paying customer.
Yeah.
I got a gym membership that I never use. It's great for business, right? And which that is also the case. So when we get back from this trip, got to go back to the gym.
Oh yeah, same.
Got some heartbreaking news today. Side note, there's a max weight limit on riding horseback, and I'm not going to be able to ride horseback tomorrow.
Are you really heartbroken though?
Or the horse's back would be sunken in. The horseback. Oh man,
the man that broke the horse's back
need to go to the damn doctor
with the camel
for some insurance. But I always thought, I was like, you know what? And it's like, because you didn't go, it's a use it or lose it. You don't accrue and accumulate, and that's what they want.
Yeah.
But when you start to use it and you start to go, that's when we really start to see the problems.
Yeah.
And this is exactly why your private health data is so valuable and so important. This is exactly why there's companies out there, companies that approached me to try to market this and share it with you all as a way for you to make money on a side hustle, passive income, by divulging and sharing your personal health care data. Why? Because they're going to position it in a way to make you think that they want to help you and make you be more healthy. Yes and no. But the no really applies to the fact that they want to see who's the most unhealthy so that they can cut ties. They want to be able to quantify their risk and determine, yes, we receive X amount of hundreds of thousands of dollars or however many per month, per year, per quarter, whatever it is, from this particular person to insure. However, based on our algorithmic formula and calculations and historic trends, we realize that the odds and likelihood of them being admitted to the doctor and hospital and the cost of that would, ultimately deduct from their balance sheets is far greater than they could ever make off of you. Therefore, you are not their prime candidate.
It's interesting, just because we're talking about doctors, I was thinking about it, and ladies, you will know immediately what I'm saying here. How come whenever we go to the doctor, the very first, I could go in there and say, my eye is bothering me, my tooth is bothering me, my neck hurts, or my big toe hurts. When was the last first day of your menstrual cycle? The hell does that have to do with my toe, my eye, my ear, my neck? Nothing. But they don't ask you guys any specific first question every single time.
You're right.
But they ask females, and I don't understand what
You're
that has
right.
to do with anything.
I couldn't tell you for a fact because I don't go very often.
Yeah.
But I also would say I think that odds are these doctors are going to play the same games that a lot of other people play, that they just want to ask you a lot of useless and monotonous questions and try to back you into divulging information for which you normally wouldn't. That would perhaps maybe even give them insight into something that they technically can't ask you.
Yeah, that's true.
Technically can't ask you.
Probably.
Why? I don't know. But much like I told you guys before, how they're motivated and incentivized by certain companies and sales and commissions for the drugs that they're going to push. Maybe they are motivated and incentivized by certain carriers to share certain records with them to determine whether or not you are a good candidate to maintain and continue on with your PPO or HMO or EPO or Medicaid or Medicare or whatever it may be.
Makes sense.